Could Coby Mayo be the next prospect promoted by the Orioles? Find out next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Saturday, May 11th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White and the 5 prospects on the verge of getting called up. Junior Caminero with the Rays, Jackson Holliday with the Orioles, Coby Mayo with the Orioles, Orelvis Martinez with the Blue Jays, and James Wood of the Nationals. I will point out that in Scott's article the other day, he had Paul Skeens on this list, but Skeens has since been called up. So I forced Scott to give me another name, and he came up with James Wood. So that is who we added.
Yeah. And it's worth pointing out that 5 on the verge doesn't necessarily mean these are the next 5 to get up. These are just the 5 most worth stashing, given both how close they are and how high the impact will be. And in Wood's case, James Wood's case, it's mostly about the kind of impact he could make. He had only 2 home runs at the start of the week. He's added 3 more, at least at the time of this recording. So my biggest concern with him was just how many balls he was putting on the ground, and it seems like that's beginning to improve. Obviously, a lot of upside potential there for James Wood. Among the other names here, it's going to be interesting to see how the Orioles fill their open infield spot in the long run, because right now they're kind of alternating Jorge Mateo and Ramon Arias, and neither deserves to be starting for a first division club like the Orioles. So will Jackson Holliday come back? He was obviously the first choice to try and fill that opening. It went horribly. Or will Coby Mayo leapfrog him? And Mayo is putting up good numbers at AAA, at least surface level numbers. Huge power, exit velocities through the roof. And we've always known, big guy, 6'5", we've always known Mayo had this kind of power. He broke through last year with greatly improved plate discipline, very high walk rate, and a very manageable strikeout rate. And this year, both of those have regressed. The walk rate's almost cut in half. The strikeout rate is up around 28%. He hits the ball hard enough that he can overcome a strikeout rate that high, but against AAA pitchers, it's not really what you want to see. And so I understand why the Orioles have not called him up yet, but it wouldn't take much of a hot streak. It wouldn't take much of a correction there with the strikeout rate, I think, for Mayo to get the call and possibly beat Jackson Holliday to the majors, or back to the majors in Holliday's case.
All right, the 5 prospects on the periphery. These are names that are doing something as of late, and it includes 2 names from the Mariners, Harry Ford and Lazaro Montes, and then Yilber Diaz, a starting pitcher with the D-backs, Quinn Matthews, a starting pitcher with the Cardinals, and Jay Allen, an outfielder with the Reds. What do you have on those Mariners names, Scotty? Harry Ford and Montes, what are they up to?
So Ford has been hot, at least at the time we're recording here. His overall numbers, the batting average is low. And what I think what's going to be, you're going to have to keep in mind with Harry Ford this year is that he's playing at AA Arkansas, which is one of the most pitcher-friendly venues in all the minors. So he didn't have any home runs prior to this hot streak. Now he has, I don't know if he's gone beyond 4 now, but that's how it started out with him hitting 4 home runs. 7, he's stealing plenty of bases, more stolen bases than those home runs. He is an interesting catcher prospect for fantasy because he runs unlike most catchers and he walks a ton too. The power is the most questionable part of his skill set. So if the final power numbers seem bad for Harry Ford, you just got to keep in mind the sort of venue he's playing in. Lazaro Montes is continuing to exceed expectations. High impact, high quality of contact, but I think a lot of evaluators are fearful of the hit tool. So far this year, playing in Class A, low A, hasn't been a problem. He's walked about as much as he struck out. The strikeout rate better than I think a lot of people were giving him credit for. And I think it won't be long before Lazaro Montes Montes, is a consensus top 100 guy.
All right. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Odyssey app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again next week. Bye-bye.